So I would like to present a bit what the OEM group is doing within the CEP. So who are we? Well, at this moment, we are with 6 OEM. So we have Audi, BMW Group, Toyota Motor Europe, Honda Motor Europe, Daimler, and Hyundai as OEMs joining. And there is also Faurecia, who is supplying their tanks to several OEMs. So they have also joined the OEM group. And as you can see, there is an empty spot here. Actually, there are more than one empty spot. So we would like to invite every other OEM to join us. And we are missing a bit of maybe heavy duty and bus manufacturers. They are very welcome to join us also in this group to discuss all kind of matters. And what are we discussing? What are we working on? Well, one of the most time-consuming part is actually the hydrogen station approval process in Europe. We are doing that. Why we are doing that, I will explain you later. But at this moment, it's the OEM group, the CEP, who actually approves the stations so that each station is allowed to refuel all vehicles from the OEM group. The second part that we are doing is about training and information sharing, especially to HRS operators and manufacturers, notified bodies, and so on. And every 6 months we deliver a training with a lot of presentations, but it's also very interactive. And we would like you, everybody, to welcome to join these sessions because there is really a lot of Q&A going on. I have to tell you that this is a very technical webinar, so there are no general presentations. It goes quite in depth into the refueling protocols. The third item which we are doing is that we are cooperating and discussing a lot with the authorities of different countries. At this moment, I am personally also, in the name of the CEP, involved with discussions in the Netherlands with the Ministry of Infrastructure and in France with the Ministry of Internal Affairs. And obviously, it's very normal. There is a lot of collaboration also with German authorities. And then finally, we are also a lot involved with the standardization. The most well-known is the last standard that we have developed for bus refueling, a 350 bar for type 4 tanks, which is called the CEP protocol, by the way. But there are other items also, and I will cover this also in one of the next slides. So it's not only focused on passenger car vehicles. So we do have also some discussion groups within the OEMs groups, of course, taking care of all the competition laws and the non-cartel laws. But there are several discussions going on about the future of heavy duty fueling, which is in our opinion, 700 bar liquid hydrogen or cryogenic hydrogen at this moment. So these are kind of strategic discussions and in which direction we will go. Then there is also about the 350 bar, which is the current situation for many city buses. Where, like I already explained you, where we have developed a fueling protocol in order to guarantee really safe fueling. And then finally, in the end, we have the vans and the cars and the light duty vehicles and the small to medium duty vehicles, which are mainly fueled with 700 bar up to 10 kilograms, or even maybe a bit up to 30 kilograms, maybe even if you use the latest D tables. And actually, at this moment, a lot of work is going on in here because of the hydrogen station approval process. So now I come to the question, should the CEP actually make these approvals? Well, actually, no, we should not do that. We are not a notified body. We cannot deliver a legal certificate. for a hydrogen station. But we are doing it because there is at this moment no notified body who is doing it at the moment. So somebody needs to do it. And we don't want our customers to have an unsafe or unreliable fueling. So that's why, as a OEM group within the CEP, we decided that we will deliver the approvals, and which is actually honestly a part of the mandatory EN 17127 standard, which is mentioned in the AFIT and in the future AFIR. Every country must meet this standard, obligatory, and there it is clearly mentioned that the OEM as that the station needs to be approved by all vehicles part of that OEM, or by a very specific standard. So we are at this moment checking this for the first and most important reason, to make sure that the tanks do not overheat, or that there is no overfilling or no too high pressure during the filling. But it's not only for the safety, it's also for the performance. Or if a station claims that they meet the SAE J2601, then they should, at around 15 degrees ambient temperature, be able to fuel a 5-kilogram tank in 3 minutes. So we will also check that. And of course, we will also check the reliability. For example, if the hydrogen quality is satisfied, because we don't want to have our customers receive bad hydrogen quality fuel. A second reason why we are doing this is it would not be fair if we do this only for a few stations. So therefore, we have decided very recently, well, recently since more than a year, that we would approve all stations in the whole of Europe. So all stations are treated equally, and there is no station that will have a higher benefit than another one. And as we are discussing during the discussions with the station operators and suppliers, we encountered that there are sometimes misinterpretations of the standard, for example. Well, we have built up quite some experience, and that's why we also explain and assist either during the training sessions or directly with the suppliers and the operators, how to perform properly the interoperability test between the station and the vehicle. But as I already explained, it is not our task to do that. We hope that in the future this will be done by notified bodies. So this is only a temporary solution that we took. So what are the deliverables that we have already created? In the latest ISO 19880-1 standard, we have included our CEP table with all the factory and site acceptance tests. And actually, this is one of our requirements, obviously, that before a station opens, he should be able to provide a good report of these tests together with a good hydrogen quality certificate. We also have freely available CEP guideline. This will appear very soon on the website as soon as this is possible. But you can communicate directly with us, and we can provide you this guideline for the FAT and SAT report. Also, an info sheet for the HRS approval on what are actually the legal requirements in the different countries and in Europe in general. The template for the SAT report is also freely available from us. You can download it. And we prefer that every station is reporting using this template, because that will make life easier for us. Otherwise, every station has their own kind of report, and then we need to dig into it, and then it takes too long then for the approval process. If the same template is used, it goes smooth, and then there is no delays. There are also some stations, even for 700 bar, that are using ambient temperature fueling. So they don't have any pre-cooling. Those are the, you could call them the fleet operator stations or the low-cost stations. And they are usually very small. And they have very long, quite long charging time. It can take quite some time. But yeah, they exist, and there was no protocol available for that. So therefore, we made very specific requirements and protocols available to fuel using this method. And then finally, the presentation materials concerning station testing, which are delivered during our training sessions. So actually the CEP OEM group is doing this already quite some time, long before I joined, because I only joined in around 2018. Um, so in the beginning, it was actually mainly Opel who took the lead, and they had even their own test device. Afterwards, we use a third-party test device, and this is used now for all German stations and for some stations also outside Germany. And so now we have already achieved more than 100 approval tests. And the purpose, as I already mentioned, is to transfer this process to notified bodies and to also adjust according to the AFIR. The stations we are approving at this moment will turn green on the H2 Live app or on the h2map.eu app as soon as it receives the approval from the CPOEM group and the approval from the operator, obviously. If a station appears in Europe without our approval, as of now, as of since a few months, it will not turn green on one of these maps. So here you can see the independent third-party tool, which is from ZSW, which is used in many site acceptance tests, and it can also be used for quite a few tests for factory assessment if necessary. So what are the steps to get an approval process? Well, first of all, we would like to, or that's if you're planning to build stations somewhere in Europe, that you approach us and that you know quite well in advance that you are going to have this site acceptance test. Please negotiate this also between operator and supplier, so they are not struck with sudden time loss and budgeting, which they did not which they have not foreseen. Then there are a total of 37. Now, not all 37 must be done. Quite a few actually are optional. The site acceptance testing is actually only 6 tests on site, and all the other tests can be done at the factory. The report for the factory assessment test, it's not even necessary to make one report for each station individually. If you have made one report for each generation of station, that is perfectly fine for us. But for the site acceptance, as dictated by the EN 17127, you must do these tests for each individual station. So the testing takes place, and we will then usually put it into kind of Excel form with a Q&A, and normally we will answer within 1 working week. So the other aspect that we did is the workshop. We have already done 3 webinars. Each time the number of participants is growing. I think we started with around 70, and the latest one was 120. And actually, it's very international, even from the UK, Hong Kong, Japan. They are now joining these technical workshops. So what are the challenges? So first of all, challenge our new type of mobility applications. For passenger cars, we are okay, I think, so that is already doing quite well and going quite good. However, for heavy duty trucks and buses and who knows what else, ships or whatever, I don't know if this is going to fall into our scope, but there we still need to, we are in the progress of establishing a site acceptance test for these stations, and very soon we will test the very first stations. So the other challenge that we have already finished actually is that there are more and more buses coming with a Type 4 vessel, and many of the 35 megapascal stations are not able to fuel these tanks because otherwise they will overheat due to the high ramp rate. So we made a new protocol which will be freely available. And then we will also, the other challenge is that we will do the handover to the for the approval process. So then finally, this has, I think I have already addressed this. So for liquid and cryogenic storage, we have not yet started with an approval process. But so these are quite some challenges that we still need to tackle. And yeah, like I already said in the very first slide, if there are any OEMs willing to collaborate within the CEP group, please do so and join us. And you can contact the CEP, or you can contact me also directly. If you take a screenshot here, you can have my email address. Thank you very much.